I remember that when I was young, like I said, me and my brother, we get the blame for everything, and my dad used to drink all the time. My dad was an alcoholic, you know. My dad passed away, and it was all due to alcohol. I don't want to get off the subject though, but he at times would take out his aggression on us, and we used to get really, really bad beatings. I didn't want to be at home, and I just remember people talking about their childhood, and I remember people talking about how their mothers would tell them, "Hey, why don't you just wait until your dad gets home. I'm gonna tell your dad." But in my case, in my brother's case, it was more like, "Don't come home yet. Your dad's not passed out." So my mom would give us warnings, because if we were home, then we'd get an ass whooping. Me and one other brother, we would get the blame for everything, or we wouldn't get invited out to eat, or let's just say to the swami. There's a swami down over this way, Santa Fe Springs Swami. We go there a lot, and they would never take us. And at that age, I thought something was wrong with me. I was like, "What's wrong with me? How come they don't take me, and how come I'm not part of?" And I always felt like I wasn't part of. Started when I was probably about 7, 8 years old. And I remember my dad and my family, we'd have parties or get-togethers or whatever. So all the uncles would be over, cousins and family, friends. And they would all drink beer. And they got to the point where there was a little bit left, that I would go and take swigs out of their bottles. Not that I was slick being young, I would pour water back into it and put it right back by their sides. And I just remember getting this different feeling, and it made me feel good. And I guess I was doing silly things because then everybody was paying attention to me, so I liked it. It was cool. It was actually really cool for me to get, drink some beer and feel different, and then people are paying attention to me. The summer between my 8th grade year and my 9th grade year, I was arrested. For carrying a gun. I was carrying a gun, and I was really out to hurt somebody, and I was almost to the point where I did, until the police showed up and I got arrested. They caught me, and I had the gun with me, and they took me into juvenile hall. At that time, I didn't really think it was a big deal as far as like bringing shame to the family, or you're a bad person, whatever. I just thought, hey man, this is cool, this is what it's about. This is what I'm supposed to do, trying to do what I can to sort of build a reputation, cement my status as a solid homie on the streets. I got involved in sports. I made it for the defensive team. I was starting. I joined the Mecha Club. There was another club called Stan. And Stan, at that time I was living in Moreno Valley. The Stan Club was created because there was a lot of racial tensions. There was a lot of racial tension between the Mexicans and the blacks. And we were sort of kind of like mediators to try to get stuff, try to keep the peace. I also I made honor roll. One day I grabbed a piece of mail out of our mailbox, and it has my name, and it says Riverside Bar Association. I had no idea what it was. I opened it up, and there's a certificate. Remember, it was $25, and there was a certificate saying, "Congratulations, you have been elected for Citizen of the Month." I was like, wow, really? It was, I didn't know how to take it, but I knew I was being acknowledged. That's the only thing. That I was being acknowledged. That's it. But I didn't know how to take it because I never had that kind of acknowledgement. I went out there. I wanted to get out from the area, and I wanted to learn. And I remember, wow, it's just interesting how things come back into my head, because I remember I was on course. I don't want to say I was on course, but I wanted to go to the path where I can take. There was a 2-year program, chemical dependency, and you take it and you go through all these courses as far as prescription, non-prescription drugs and counseling and all that, because that's what I wanted to do. I remember, but at the time I was taking general education classes to kind of get those units out of the way. Um, it was fun, and I was working with the school district, Chinle Unified School District. I was working on a little booklet on how to approach kids that could be influenced or are in trouble or something like that. I was kind of working on a little handbook. Uh, Let me see. Being involved with the sweats and the meetings, it was just it was a lot going on. There was a lot going on. I know a lot of people out there looked at me as somebody very important, and that's another thing. I didn't know how to accept that. I guess they had some housing projects for the faculty. So if you stick with us and you dedicate yourself and you commit yourself, we can set you up and you can have a career. And I just didn't know how to deal with that. People treated me like I was a celebrity. I kind of felt like I didn't deserve that. There was a few times where I did drink alcohol. I had a girlfriend. And that was another factor why I came back too. She, at that time, she cheated on me, and I was heartbroken. I was 18 years old, and I was heartbroken, and just the fact that reasons and the factors where I don't deserve this kind of attention. I don't deserve this opportunity. I got cheated on by a girlfriend, and I wanted to come back home. We made a decision. I went back home, and the only thing I brought back with me was a debit card and maybe a little bit of clothing. I think I remember I had like probably a little more, in between $2,000 to $3,000 in my account, and that went by, I want to say, within the month. I was able to do, if I remember correctly, 3 withdrawals a day, and I did that to the fullest, and I went to dope. I just I didn't look back. I was like, we're gonna go out and party, and if there's drugs, there's drugs. Eventually it got to the point where we're gonna go out and party, well, let's go score first. And eventually it was like, okay, well, if there's not gonna be drugs, I don't want to go out. And it got to the point where I don't want to do anything but get high. What I saw in there and what I was involved, that was just part of it. I was either with it or against it, and I chose to be with it, because if you're against it, you're on your own. It's very segregated in prison.